Excellences, Monsieur le Président,
Your Excellency, Honorable His Excellency, Mr. President of Rwanda, distinguished brothers, distinguished representative, Prime Cabinet of Secretary of Foreign Diaspora Affairs in Kenya, distinguished Secretary General of ITU, distinguished Chairperson of Africa Union Commission, distinguished Secretary General of AFCFTA, distinguished participants, distinguished friends from Africa and abroad. This summit is a proof of our collective willingness not to leave Africa behind during the technological revolution, which is AI. I would like to take this opportunity to thank His Excellency President Paul Kagame to have invited me to this important summit, and also to commend his commitment and his ambition to always put technology at the service of development. However, the opening of our summit, I would like to invite some moment of reflection. As far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't pretend to be an AI specialist. And also my comment would come from my little experience when it comes to international relations on the functioning of the world with multiple tensions and power relationships, its economic dynamics. It is from that experience that I would like to share with you a few of my reflections. The first one is that within an international context, which is more and more tensed, it is time to think about strategic ideas. The world in which this summit was conceived represents the world of today. The global geopolitics extends, and international relations are crossed by all the forms of confrontation, technological protectionism, and reluctancy. And this is a time of cooperations, and we need to draw lessons from that. Within that context, it wouldn't be wise for the continent to found our hopes on the sole willingness and the generosity of our partners. AI will not be an exception, and that is why my second item is that we need to have a selective, strategic, and capacity-adapted approach to our continent. Africa wouldn't be able to challenge with major powers on the various innovation spectrum of AI because our resources are pretty much limited. Our technological advancement is modest, and in order to have ambition in Africa is not to try to do everything, but is to be able to select what we want to do. That's why we need to identify different areas where our needs are more urgent. Our weaknesses are more structure-based, but also areas where our skills are multiple and our reservations are strategic in order to create a leverage. I think of 2 or 3 key sectors of our development strategies: health, education, and agriculture. This is where, as far as I'm concerned, progress relating to AI meet our most concrete realities. On that note, I believe that Africa can become a land of innovation for itself and for the world. And this leads me to my third point. From now on, we need to protect the strategic assets of our continent. Africa has precious resources for the development of artificial intelligence. Africa has a dynamic youth, and we have a genomic, cultural, and linguistic data with an exceptional diversity and critical and rare natural resources. Those assets will be searched for. That is why we need to protect them and to value them. We know that temptation for other people will be immense in order to explore those researches without ethics and inclusion. And to avoid this, our data should be better collected, better structured, and valued and protected as well. We need to say it clearly. Today, Africa is a dead angle of global data. Africa data should contribute to the training of global models to avoid unnecessary exploitation. Our youth should benefit from massive funding and training in order to access global work market, which keeps growing at a fast pace. Our natural resources will be necessary in future decades in order to build, to power, or to refresh AI infrastructures in the entire globe. Africa should not give their rare resources, their water, their wind, and its land, of course, is sun without equitable benefits. For all those reasons, we need to build a digital, realistic and targeted sovereignty. A technological divide is a threat, and our responsibility is to anticipate. Today, AI modules, infrastructures and research are being dominated by a number of foreign and Western stakeholders. I believe that Africa shouldn't be depending on foreign platforms. We need to build our own digital sovereignty, and this should be based on three pillars: our data, our infrastructures, and our standards. This is not about just building our own AI models from end to end, but to have intellectual choices by adapting open models in energy and meeting our realities. We should also advocate for an international equitable framework and demand a position in global governance. Let us not be naive. This position will not be given to us. We need to conquer it. We need to build it together with consistency and strategy. My last item is that equity will be a key requirement for an AI which is to serve everybody in Africa. We know from experience that African innovations can be spectacular for some of us, but invisible for others. There is therefore a risk that AI will only benefit an urban minority which is connected and educated. It will be a fatal mistake and a moral downfall. AI should also benefit informal workers, rural areas, young people who don't have access to technologies. So that also takes into account targeted training, investment on productivity, and thought solutions for local realities. You've understood. I hope to open this summit with a lot of vigilance, not only to slow us down, but to make us enter the reality. AI is the last biggest revolution. It can be for us a solution for independence, a solution for transformation and unity. But it is time for us to be realistic. It is time to be strategic. This is not about doing everything, but to select well. We need to select targeted areas where Africa can develop a comparative advantage for health, agriculture, and education. We need to select solutions to meet the need of our populations through technology. We need to select AI models that meet realities of the continent. We are on energy consumptions, and we are more open and accessible. But we need to also select to protect what we have precious. This is our youth, our natural resources, and of course our data. It is on that background, with that vision and the ambition,